Good morning and welcome to DCT Executive Meditation, Deep Coherence Technique, a 5-step grounding activation that will get you in the pocket, in your flow, and operating at a much wider bandwidth for your day, whatever your day holds in store for you. I wanted to spend a little time this morning before we get into techniques with some ideas or information and some science around step number 5, which is where we come together. We come together, we join the group vortex, we bring that energy in, we run it through from the brain, the mind down into the heart, and then we seal the deal. We close it. We finish the technique itself with that aspect. So I wanted to give you guys a little background on that. I'm going to read some information here. So essentially what step 5 is, it's the power of group intention, where you may think, well, I don't set an intention when I join you every morning. I just like to do something mindful. Well, that in itself is an intention. You are intending to sit down in a mindful way, and you're joined by a collective of people that you don't know, who also at that time decide to mindfully be still and practice deep coherence technique. So what we do when we come together through a singular intention is we collapse space-time and create quantum entanglement. Now, I know how that sounds, but there is emerging science to back this statement up, and I'd like to read you some information. But that's my claim. That's what I sense and I feel is happening when humans come together, especially in something mindful. So it's like a boosted energy. Let me just read this. So number 1. Well, let me start with the premise. Research increasingly supports the idea that collective intention, when focused by a group, can generate measurable changes in individuals, communities, and even larger systems. This concept is often associated with group meditation or prayer, and it blends quantum physics, neuroscience, and psychology. And here are some key insights from studies. Now, heart-brain coherence and group dynamics, number 1. The HeartMath Institute has demonstrated that collective coherence, where brain and heart rhythms synchronize, can amplify an individual's physiological state and affect group outcomes. This synchronization promotes emotional balance, stress reduction, and enhanced decision making. Number 2, the Maharishi Effect. Hope I pronounced that correctly. The Maharishi Effect refers to studies showing that a small proportion of a population practicing transcendental meditation can reduce crime rates, violence, and even geopolitical tensions in surrounding areas. This suggests a ripple, I would say for sure, a quantum waveform ripple that ripples out into the local quantum field. These are my thoughts coming in, and affect that localized quantum field and everybody in it. So a localized quantum field would be a village, a town, a country, a state, all of those things. So when we come together with the intention of coherence, for example, what we do is we generate a waveform, a carrier wave that is very dominant because of the singular intention, and it waveforms out, creating ripples, bending, curving space-time, and creating quantum entanglement. Now, it behooves me to mention the groundbreaking work that Lynn McTaggart, journalist and researcher, did in her powerful book, The Power of Eight, and the experiments that are ongoing that Lynn McTaggart conducts that show extraordinary outcomes when focused groups of more than 8 people come together. And those outcomes are both for the person that the intention is held for. So let's say it's a health challenge, but also for what happens to the group around that one intentioned person. In other words, the effects of group intention are felt by everybody. Number 4, quantum field theories and collective consciousness. Quantum physics posits that human thought and intention can interact with the quantum field. I argue that's an absolute fact from my own experience. Experiments on non-locality and entanglement suggest that focused group intention might influence systems across space and time. It does. It collapses space and time because consciousness is the most powerful energy in the third dimensional cosmos. That's why it's so powerful to do this together. Real life applications. So, I mean, again, there's been a lot of data about group meditations in places that have a lot of crime, like or rather violence, like say the Middle East, where there's an ongoing conflict. There's also a lot of data. I believe Dr. Joe Dispenza cites some of this data too, in the idea of mind over body, mind over matter, how the mind can actually, when it's brought together and coheres together, can create powerful epigenetic shifts in our DNA. I think we're only going to discover more and more and more of that as our technologies get more advanced and we're able to really understand the deeper mechanics of quantum physics. But for right now, I'm going to say Lynn McTaggart, HeartMath Institute, check out their work. There's a ton more data coming in, especially theoretical data from quantum physics. But I would argue that when we come together, step number 5, we are in fact entangling, we are in fact bringing in group intentional energy, and that can only boost what you've already generated yourself. So keep doing it, keep coming back and invite your friends, invite your colleagues. We say that give it 28 days, and in 28 days, you're going to notice a substantial shift in your concentration, in your focus, in your present awareness, and in your grounded, coherent attention. And you're going to find that as a natural consequence of that, and I am making a claim here, I'm going out on a limb, but I'm going to make the claim that you will be in your flow. You will be in your flow, and there is no better place to be for pure pleasure, but also for problem solving and coming up with creative insights in your workplace or indeed in your community or family. So let's get to the technique, deep coherence technique, 5 steps. We're going to start with number 1. Put your feet on the ground if they're not already. If you can, take your shoes and socks off and remind yourself we're connecting to the Schumann resonance of the Earth's electromagnetic field. Schumann, shoe, foot, grounding. It all goes together. Let's take a deep breath. I'd like you to visualize the soles of your feet as activation pads, highly sensory areas that automatically connect to the Earth's electromagnetic field. So connect, and as you connect, you're going to be drawing up this beautiful, empowering, but deeply relaxing frequency. And I want you to visualize it as a golden light, as a liquid that seeps up through your body, and everywhere it goes, every nook and cranny, every joint, every muscle, every organ, it relaxes. And I'm going to count us down from 10 to 1. And when I get to 1, you're going to be in a deep, deep state of active relaxation. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, you are relaxed. 4, 3, 2, 1. You are deeply relaxed. Step number 2, pranayama breath work. We're going to breathe 5 times using this technique, and I invite you to continue mindfully breathing throughout DCT this way. So inhale through the nose, count 2, exhale more fully and slower through your mouth. If you want to make a noise, a groan or a hum, do so. Pranayama breath work calms down the parasympathetic nervous system, increases lung functionality, which contributes to lower blood pressure. Step number 3, we're going to prime our electromagnetic field. Use your fingers. You're going to move your arms length all the way around your body. Your electromagnetic field surrounds your body. It is you. It is part of you. And it is not an empty space. It is intelligent. It is sensitive. And when we move like this, it's like a Reiki action. It coheres our body to our electromagnetic field. It connects us to it in a more conscious way. And we say to you as you move, notice what you notice, feel what you feel, move how you want to move. This is your field. Step number 4. Bring your hands together like this, put them in front of your heart. Really press in, connect to your heart. Open up your hands as though you're opening up the doors to a temple or a beautiful room, a chamber. And now I want you to visualize breathing through your heart and indeed entering through the heart. And as you do so, you notice a rising sun rising from within the heart chakra. Now, this rising sun, as it rises and gets bigger and more radiant and more glorious, completely surrounds you, and you free fall into it. You surrender to it, and you become it. So imagine yourself just surrendering to a beautiful ball of golden light, and see that light stretching out in all directions, filling your primed electromagnetic field. Now, we call this in DCT, we call it the Om-powered I am. It is another way to look at this is it's your higher power. It is the unlimited you. It is infinite you. It is brilliant you. And this you is available anytime. In fact, it runs all the time, but we're rarely connected to it. So spread out and feel the power of you, unlimited, empowered you. Now we're going to bring that beautiful golden light back in. This is you, this is your consciousness, this is your vitality. It's everything. It's so powerful. And we're going to bring it together, the energy. We're going to hold it. So feel the tension between your hands. That's real energy that you're playing with. We're going to bring it together, and we're going to connect to the group. Step number 5, vortex energy, power of 8. We're going to bring in, we're going to connect to the group now. And we're going to bring in that group energy. I like to run it through the third eye, the enlightened mind. I'm going to bring it all the way down from the mind and cohere it to the heart. And then we're going to waveform that out as coherence. So essentially what you're doing is you're generating coherence. So see that wave or ripple of coherence waveform out, all the way out, all the way out, all the way out, all the way out, until it reaches the edge of your electromagnetic field. And I want you to let go because it's going to keep running. It's going to keep going in all directions. And it's going to run all day for you. But what I want you to do now is to bring that coherence back in to your center. And we're going to seal the deal. And so it is, for you command your space and you bless your day. And we say to you, now that you've set this in motion, be open to what the quantum field is going to share with you, communicate with you today. Don't fixate on it. Just be open to epiphanies, miracles, opportunities, encounters that will shift your life. And when those things happen, reach out and let us know because we would love to hear about it. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you again soon.